It's an Andre here. Today's game is gonna be a little bit different. Today I'm playing my own version of Control Forest, or not Control Forest, Control Sword. My list is, well, Saha Sword. The premise is pretty simple. Basically, you just use it with like Saha Luci or Saha Israfil, to gain additional healing and essentially have like additional free Evo points, but it's mainly for the healing because that's something that sword as a control deck lacks. And generally it's not enough to just like recover board. You also have to heal it in order to secure a lot of games. So he gets the fairy circle into double fairy turn two. I have a veteran lancer. The veteran lancer dies on board, but at least it just stops my face from taking damage because my hand is pretty bad. So he goes Sylvan Justice, which is really terrifying for me because he now has three monsters on the board and and my hand is looking a little bit rough, so I'm gonna be taking some damage here. So I go ahead and novice trooper into his 1/1 because it's really important right now that I don't take damage because more so than just me doing damage to him because like he has more things on the board. He can race me, and I really need to prevent giant ancient elves from hitting the board and then hitting me in the face. So even though it's kind of bad because I don't really get real procs, I go ahead and go Gawain Evo in the hopes that he does not have and yeah, in the hope that he doesn't have Fina. Instead, yeah, this man hits me with a Pegasus off, which is kind of terrible for me. But he does use an Evo point for it instead of trading, which in my opinion was kind of a mistake. But he just really wanted that face damage. So this turn I have Luminous Mage plus a free Evo, which is nice. Um, it's not the best thing though because the Luminous still dies on board because of these fairies that just have not left and just been like hitting me in the face, hitting me in the face. So I'm still in a pretty bad spot. However, my hand is starting to pick up, and I'm starting to kind of scale into the late game because next turn I'll most likely be doing Maid Leader plus Albert. All right, so he goes EPM and he uses his last Evo, which is really important here because um, he's on 6 mana going into 7. The next time he can regain Evo points is on turn 8 with Crystalia Aaron. So I have these next 2 turns to do something super impactful and to punish him for not having Evos. So I go Maid Leader. Maid Leader gets me Amelia, and here I go Albert. I go ahead and Evo my Maid Leader, so that way I can finally own the board, and I have 2 bodies on the board as well. So it's gonna be hard for him to clear it unless he has Will of the Force or unless he has Sylvan Justice plus May. And here he goes ahead and uses his 0 costs. At which point I was like, "Oh shit, am I dead?" Like, but no, he actually does it to play out his Crystalia Tia. And here he was probably thinking that he won the game because like there's not like because getting through that is like really hard to do. However, I have Saha Israfil, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and use my last Evo points. That way, I can go ahead and get some damage in the face. Again, while the damage doesn't really matter, it's more so just that I I want to have a 6/5 on the board, and I also want to prevent him from getting to rebounce his Tia because generally that that's actually how like a lot of people lose is because well certain times in the past is that they would just like keep rebouncing Tia and just kind of like and just kind of overwhelm you with like mid-range bodies and then eventually kill you with Roach. So we get to his turn 8, and of course um he has the Aaron as I said he would. And at this point he's a little bit scared now because I got the heal, which pushed me massively out of range. I go ahead and use my second Saha just to make sure. And now this game is kind of scary for him because he doesn't really because he uses zero cost. He doesn't really have fairies in hand, and I'm at full HP. But here he shows me his white wolf, which is kind of an issue for me because now I have to play very scared. Because the white wolf is sorry because the silver bolt he'll be getting from the white wolf presumably is a zero cost, and that sets up for a lot of crazy roach combos. He still hasn't showed me a nature's guidance yet either, so he could get like something like um bolt plus like anything or whatever, and then like roaches into like guidance into more roaches and kill me. All right, so he gets his two draws, and he plays Grimnir. Um, the Grimnir is kind of bad because the Grimnir pushes free damage for him. Although I don't know why he didn't just bolt me. He might not have gotten it, in which case I don't quite know what he got. So here I go ahead and flood the board. The reason why I flooded the board is because I really want to try to prevent him from going something like Jungle Warden and then hitting me in the face and having me not be able to deal with it, and then he just kills me that way. So here he goes May. The, the May immediately hitting the Jenner tilted me so much, and I was really scared. Because he bounces it, and then it hits Gelt, and I'm like, shit, am I gonna die? He bounces it once more, and I'm like, please don't hit all of these perfectly. And finally, I'm able to win the 50-50, but he plays the second May, and then he kills the Gelt anyway. And I'm just really sad. And then he plays an Ancient Elf. The Ancient Elf isn't actually that bad here um, because like for the most part, big ancient elf is only really like super terrifying when it happens like in the early game because most times you can't really deal with it that well. Without it going one for one or better with whatever you trade it into. So I have the board. I go ahead and play the Grimnir just to be extra safe because he still hasn't showed me his zero cost, and I really don't want to die to Jungle Warden. So he plays May. He plays the second one. He plays a fairy, a second fairy, and then a second ancient elf. So this one is a 6/7 ancient elf, which on my current board state isn't will die for free. However, his May uh, wins the 1 in 3 and kills my 5/1. So I'm in an awkward spot. So I have to go ahead and Grimnir here. The Grimnir here is fine because I still have enough things on board so that way if he does go Jungle Warden, neither one of them can hit me in the face this turn, and I can go ahead and recover with Gawain plus Lumi Mage because the Lumi Mage will be reduced to a 4 cost, and I can play both on the same turn. Alright, so he plays the second Grimnir here. This Grimnir was again pretty terrifying because he has not showed me a single roach. Yeah, he has not showed me a single roach yet, but he has used guidances. So, um, but I'm at like a low enough health total that I have to play Lucifer here, and I have to just pray. Okay, well, hopefully he doesn't have a way of dealing with it. All right. He plays the second Aaron here, which is good for me because Lucifer has 7 HP. So if he wants to kill this Lucifer and he has to, he's going to have to trade 2 things into it, and he does. All right. Now here I draw my second Geno, which is kind of a pain because I don't really like playing Genos out for free. especially in this matchup because they can get lilied. Although, granted, I guess one less lily for that is one less lily for something else, especially because you use so many bounces. But I'm at 16, and he's out of resources, so he goes ahead and concedes here. So yeah, just an interesting game. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and shake out the deck list. The deck is still a work in progress. Oops. And it was something that I was using prior to the nerfs. It does well. The list is slightly different from then, but it actually does pretty well versus Dragon. Um, at least from my personal experience in games played. Um, because like most times no one ever expects the hawk wheel, and they also don't expect you to randomly get healing, because it does mess up quite a few damage calculations from them. But yeah, I added in the healing. Yeah, I added in the healing angels because the healing angel, it's kind of nice. There also aren't really that many 3 drops that I really like. And then like the last, I guess, point of contention is a conscription, right? So conscription says put a random officer from your deck into your hand, and then get a bonus, additional one if you have a commander in play. So, um, as you know, I have Gawain, who gives discounts to my commanders. So the ideal thing with conscription is that you want to either turn 4, turn 5 Gawain, and then turn 6 play Lumi Mage plus conscription to refill your hand. Because the free 2 mana draw 2 is really really nice. All right, well, that was the deck and that was the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time.